Hello, welcome back to the channel, and today we have a very fun video I'm super excited to make. Wearing the Pistons shirt, Monty Williams is now the coach of the Pistons. Now, this is one of the most fun and fascinating stories I've seen in a long time in the NBA. And, he initially said no. He had a bit of a buyout. I believe he had to pay some money back to Phoenix, or not take as much from them if he ended up coaching this season. So he was planning on taking the year off. He met with the Pistons. They're like, hey, listen, if the job's open next year, I'm super interested. Obviously, the Pistons can't really do that. So what they did instead was they made an offer they couldn't refuse, like a la Godfather. And we saw Tom Gores fly Monty Williams out on this plane, private plane, send him out there, bring him in, let's hang out in LA for a night. And we see that he ends up getting, like a $78 million deal for 6 years, and he's making over $12 million a year, one of the highest paid, even higher paid than half the Pistons, highest paid coaches out there. He's now higher paid than Popovich. So crazy for that. But there's some things that, you think at and look at and make more sense now that he's the coach. It's like, okay, there's some more options now. Obviously, pick 5 is not nearly as fun as pick 1 or as good, but he's a really well-respected developmental coach in the league. He's, super good with young players, and his ability to turn around bad franchises is pretty good. And I was saying this earlier when I was talking about the other places these coaches could go. It's like, would you rather go to the Bucks, where you can coach Giannis for sure, but if you mess up, like if Giannis gets hurt and you lose in the first round in Miami, hypothetically speaking, you could get fired, right? And if you go to the Pistons, Dwayne Casey was, one of the worst record coaches. I mean, obviously it's a really bad situation, but one of the worst record coaches out there, and had one of the longest leashes out there, one of the longest tenures, everything like that. So if you're Monty Williams and you turn this team around, they'll pay you ridiculously already. They'll extend you, and you'll get even more money. So it's, long-term destination. I think the Pistons were actually sneaky, one of the better places to go. Because they've got cap space, they've got draft picks, they've got young players, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now, what does Monty Williams bring to the table? 7-second offense type thing, super fast, a lot of decision making, really efficient offense. This is kind of the stuff that you already know. He turned the Suns around completely, right? The Suns were 9-39, so it was 19-63, pardon me, in 2018 and 19, and then he turned them around, winning the Pacific Division twice, and making it to the NBA Finals once, and winning a playoff series 3 out of his 4 years. His first year, they were 34-39, and then they were 51-21, 68-18, and then 45-37 last year. Obviously, a lot of issues trading people around, but he then got fired by Matt Ishbia. He kind of came in and was like, nah, I don't really feel like this way is working. They moved it around. A lot of the players, mostly Devin Booker, were really not happy about this, which would maybe be like, hey, can Devin Booker come back to Michigan and Detroit? But Monty Williams, super well respected in the league. A lot of players really like him, obviously, including Booker. But looking at some of the other options, right? Free agents this year, you got Cam Johnson, restricted free agent for the Brooklyn Nets, was obviously traded mid-season last year from Phoenix to Brooklyn, along with Mikal Bridges. So those two guys that, maybe you could bring them in. Mikal you'd have to trade for, which would be a bit more work. But Cam Johnson's restricted free agent. You'd have to probably overpay him. We're looking at $25 to $30 million a year, which even me, you can hear my voice. I say $30 million a year, my body's kind of rejecting it, right? But he's a damn good 3-and-D wing, can play the 3, 4, 2 even if needed. But we have enough, 1s and 2s, so he would probably slot alongside Bogdanovich and fill out our wing positions. Which, my goodness, we need some wing depth, so that'd be great. But the other main guy that you're linked to, not a free agent though, is DeAndre Ayton. Now, I know we have Jalen Duren, and he's a center, and DeAndre Ayton really wasn't that impressive in his time in Phoenix, and kind of had a lack of motor at times, according to other people. We tried to sign him. We tried to, trade for him before already, with Troy Weaver really liking DeAndre Ayton. So I would not be surprised if Monty Williams likes him, if that he's, in here somehow. But looking at everything else, Devin Booker, obviously, right? From Michigan, Grand Rapids, growing up. always wears wings stuff, talks about how he wishes the Pistons drafted him, all that good stuff. And obviously, he's an even better basketball player. So you're like, hey, let's try to get him over to the Pistons. That'd be absolutely awesome. So I think that there's a lot to be really happy about. But his links around the league and his respect in the league opens us up as a free agent destination, especially if Cade comes back and plays as well as he was beforehand. And you look at some of the other guys like, Jeremy Grant and Bogdanovich, really good career revivals in Detroit. I know we're trying to do that with some other, ex-first-round picks, top 5 picks, lottery picks, but these guys that came in, got paid, were role players, Jeremy Grant and Bogdanovich, and came in, got paid, and exceeded their role. So maybe Cam Johnson comes in, takes a deal, exceeds himself, and if the Pistons project doesn't work out, flip him to somewhere else, right? Obviously, I don't think that'll be the case now that we have Monty Williams, but it's going to be super exciting. Obviously, Monty Williams, he's worked with Coach K with Team USA, worked with Popovich sometimes when he was with the Spurs, and more importantly, was working with Troy from their time in Oklahoma City when he was associate head coach. So Monty, super devout Catholic, good family man, all this other stuff, checks literally every box. And the fact that he was fired was stunning to almost everyone. And the second he got fired, every team with an opening, and some teams not even with an opening, like the Celtics, were like, I want that guy. And, Tom Gores, I seriously, I've never really gotten on him as much as other people have. Obviously make fun of him with a T-shirt Tommy hitting people courtside with T-shirt cannons. But I was sitting there the whole time like, listen, he did, he made an all-in move for Blake Griffin. Obviously it was not the best, but he helped pay for that. He paid the buyout. He went out and got Casey, who we thought at the time was going to help a lot. Reigning coach of the year, la-da-da-da. Went out there and paid him. It was like, look, here's our guy. So now you get a coach of the year from last year, not this upcoming season or this current season, still playing out. But and he's now your coach. So I'm extremely excited about the Pistons' future. It was looking like Kevin Ali in pick 5, and like, whoa. Are we really going to do this? We've had like a decade of sadness, and we're going to do it again. So thankfully that was not the case. Now the Pistons look to end their playoff drought next year, hopefully. I don't really count the play-in as making the playoffs, but if they were able to be the 9 seed, or actually, the 9 seed and host a play-in game, that'd be pretty cool for the city. So obviously much better would be appreciated and better, obviously. So that's kind of what I got for now. Stick around for these trades. But other than that, see you later. Peace. Hello, welcome back to the second half of the Monty Williams video. Just quickly going through some of these potential trades and signings and things that now that we have Monty Williams, basically what we can update ourselves with here. This one here, I would like something on record. I got into it on Twitter with my good friends Big Chap and Isaac the other day. Yes, I have Jaden Ivey in a billion trades. It's not because I hate him. It's because I think that he's the best value. I would say there's the top 3 assets, young core guys, that is. You've got, obviously, you have Cade Cunningham 1, Duren and Ivy, I think, are 2, 3, or 2A, 2B, and Ivy's closer to Cade, so Duren makes it different. So we trade away Ivy. That's just how I think it works. So in this scenario here, you give them Isaiah Livers, Jaden Ivey, Wiseman, Bagley to kind of help the salaries out, those two. And then it's going to be both picks this year. So picks, 5 and 31, in addition to unprotected first round pick 2026 and 2029. And then 2028 to swap, just so you can get more picks on here. So they end up getting 3 first round picks unprotected, a second round pick, and a swap where they get the higher one between the Brooklyn trade. And then we get Devin Booker to the Pistons. This is, I know, obviously crazy long shot. I don't know if it'd be this much. I mean, Bogdanovich is the easy one to add into it, but I don't know if that would work, but who knows? And then next trade, DeAndre Ayton. This is actually a bit different. Gives them a bit different of a way to play the Suns. Obviously, Jacques Landale wasn't terrible. They give us their second round pick this year, along with DeAndre Ayton. Then the Suns get Marvin Bagley, kind of for salary. Wiseman, an option if they want to keep him as a big, maybe accept the team option, do 1 year. And then Isaiah Livers, I think, is a great bench scoring piece in the league. I think he'll be one of these guys that's kind of going to float around a bit and really do well scoring the ball. And obviously the Suns needed some bench depth, so that kind of helps out Bagley and Livers, 2 scorers off the bench. And then finally, just if they don't do anything, here's some signings I think you could float out there and do. Draymond Green, obviously from Saginaw, do the Michigan thing. Here's Detroit. He's up here in Saginaw. I think it would be a really good fit. Obviously, Michigan State guy. I think Michigan State's smart. They eventually hire him as their head coach down the line, but that's just me. Even though I'm a Michigan fan, I just want to think that would be a pretty good idea. A 2-year, $50 million deal, maybe 3 years player option. He would really help this team. We need a power forward. In addition to that, helping, be a player coach on the floor with Monty and, maybe transitioning, the eventual him being a coach. Super player would really help with this young core and help shape and mold and give Detroit some toughness and edge that the city and this team kind of needs. Maybe help coach guys like Isaiah Stewart to be the next Draymond Green. Russell Westbrook, it was rumored to maybe be a Piston a while back. Really has worked a lot with Monty Williams, especially when Monty was in Oklahoma City. And I think he'd be good to come into Detroit and help mold Jaden Ivey into more of a attacking point guard, kind of what we saw at the end of last year. And then Cam Johnson, we kind of talked about earlier, obviously was on the Suns, super young wing that everyone likes, really good three. Actually, not super young because he entered the draft pretty late age-wise, but really good 3-and-D wing, giving him 25 million. That exceeds 25, 27, 30, 29, 31, kind of the usual 2 million increase sort of thing. And backload that deal, get him with the cap moving up. It probably actually sneaky not impact that much, but as adding 65 million, that'd be declining a lot of team options, or maybe even moving some additional pieces. Because we know Troy cooks like nobody's business on draft day. So that's all I have to the end this video here. I apologize in advance for everyone getting mad about me trading Jaden Ivey, but that's just what you have to do to get a guy like Booker. You got to do it. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. Because I would imagine people would rather keep Duren. Maybe not, but who knows? Again, I would rather keep Jaden Ivey, unless you get a guaranteed guy like Booker in return. But I do like Jaden Ivey. I want that on the record. But thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys later. Peace.